Hello, internet friends. Shutter here. Thank you for joining me for another video. This is going to be a movie review video of the 2016 movie called I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. Got it. So, I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House is a 2016 movie directed by Oz Perkins. Oz Perkins did direct the last movie that I did a video review of called Longlegs. So with this, I had in mind of watching all of Oz Perkins' movies and then doing a tier list of them. Let's see which one's my favorite, which one's my least favorite. See if there's any diamonds in the rough, let's do some exploring, gotta do some digging, gotta get some work done. So anyway, I watched I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House from the year 2016, almost 10 years ago at this point. And let's review it, okay? Let's review it. So this movie I would describe it as a haunted house movie. It's a person staying at a haunted house movie. Let me describe the general plot for you. So, a nurse who is a live-at-home nurse, she'll stay and live at your home and take care of you, like a hospice nurse. So, a nurse named Ruth goes to live, she's hired to live at an elderly woman's home. The elderly woman is named Ruth. Ruth used to write books. She needs a nurse, so she is hired by this estate guy to watch over the writer, the elderly woman. Her name is Ruth. I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm already mixing up the facts here. Excuse me. Ruth is the nurse. The elderly woman is Iris. So Ruth must nurse or take care of Iris, and while Ruth is staying at the house, she sees some, unusual things, some spook things, maybe some ghost things, just kind of the weird stuff. That's where it's a haunted house movie. Another fact is that Iris keeps calling Ruth Polly, just over and over again. Every time she talks to Ruth, she never calls her Ruth, she calls her Polly. These are some of the facts of the plot. And there's a haunting, and when you watch the movie, you got to figure a little bit of this stuff out. So, okay, well, I'll jump to the point here. I thought the movie was okay. It's not great, but it's not that bad either. The best thing that the movie has going for it is the framing and the shots. Just like Longlegs, if you watch my Longlegs review or if you've seen Longlegs, you know that the framing, the look of the shots is just perfect it's so meticulous and perfect. And that's the best thing that this movie has going for it, is the shots look great. When I say that too, let me be a little bit more descriptive. The shots are framed so they make an ordinary house look creepy. So many of the shots in the movie will just show a living room, right? It's a living room. It's a flat shot of a living room. It looks normal. But then what makes it perfect is there's things in the room that are unaligned. So everything gives, you get a sense of offness, of something not being right. And it's done so well in the shots where it's just a flat shot of a house. It looks like a living room, but then there's a sense of creepiness about the living room. And I tried asking what is making it look creepy, and it's because the living room itself will be angled, or the house itself, the shot, will show the room in a correct straight line, but then TVs, pictures, wall decor, everything will be off center. So a lot of the times things are sloped towards the center too, or towards the main character. So it gives this things are going downhill feeling, or things are not right feeling. So that's the best part that the movie has going for it. That's what I like the most. I think where the movie starts to have problems is that there's not so much substance to the movie. By that, I mean that there's not a lot going on with the plot. When you're watching the movie, the gist of the movie is a nurse seeing creepy things in the home, getting creeped out. She's a bit oblivious to things, and then something creepy will happen. Ruth is oblivious to things. Iris keeps calling her Polly. Ruth will conduct her business as normal, just going around the house. Creepy shots. Something creepy happens, and it kind of resets. And that's the movie. It's mostly creepy vibes. And so there's not a lot of plot or mystery or a message or something for you to really grab onto. You're just watching Ruth in a house, and she sees some creepy stuff. There are some creepy images and creepy scenes. The movie does deliver on a few of those, but it's not going to leave you scarred or wowed or super impressed. It's the movie's a decent exercise in minimalist horror where you're watching a person stay at a house, creepy stuff happens, and that's about it. You're going to get some maybe some scares, but not really. So it's creepy yet unfulfilling. Ultimately unfulfilling. Still creepy but unfulfilling. To give the movie a score, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. It has some things going for it, so it's not a bad movie. It does have some positives, but it's going to, for me, it's hard to justify going out of your way watching the movie when there's so many other movies that you'll get more out of. It just felt okay. It felt like the most okayest horror movie I've seen, for a while. So, yeah, 5 out of 10. I'm not going to recommend the movie, but I'm not going to say to avoid watching the movie too. So it's not a wreck, it's not an avoid, it's in the middle. I'm indifferent. 5 out of 10. There you go. Okay, well, if you stayed past the cat picture, you are in the spoiler territory. So, just going to talk surface level of the details. We're going to talk about the details, but only the surface level, because I just want to talk about maybe what would have raised the score of the movie for me, and for me to talk about that, I got to go into spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, maybe go see it, but if you don't care about it, it's fine. So, to go back to the beginning of what I was saying, where Iris, the writer, I can't remember if I mentioned that before, but Iris was a horror book writer, and the character in one of her books is called Polly. And so when she's talking to Ruth and she keeps calling her Polly, as I was watching the movie, I couldn't help but think, oh, well, Polly's a ghost right there behind her. She's talking to Polly. Iris is talking to Polly. She's not even talking to Ruth when she says, "Oh, is that you, Polly?" And so that's my best old lady voice. So, and I guess it has to be British, or a bad British. Anyway, Iris is only talking to Polly. She's not even talking to Ruth. And it is revealed, I was predicting that the books were going to be actual murders, and Ruth was going to have to uncover some clues about this and maybe do some digging for information. Ultimately, it does get revealed that Polly, one of the characters in the book, was murdered by her husband. It's shown this in a flashback. You're also seeing Ruth communicating with Polly at one time. Oh, I'm sorry. You're also seeing Iris communicating with Polly in the past. Iris is the writer. She's communicating with Polly in the past. And it's clear that the ghost of Polly was talking to Iris and basically gave her the ideas of the stories, which I was predicting this as well, but I thought there was going to be more mystery or uncovering to it. It just kind of shows that this is what happened, which that's fine too. But that's the only mystery that you have in the movie. There's nothing about the other books and the other murders, the other horror books. None of that's brought into the plot here, and it's not in the fray. So the only thing that's important is that Polly was murdered. Polly, as the ghost, was talking to Ruth and gave her stories. For some reason, Polly's coming back and is haunting. I keep saying Ruth. Polly was talking with Iris. Iris is the writer, and helped her write the stories. And later, Polly goes away and now comes back in the future, and she's haunting an elderly Iris. And Ruth sees the ghost of Polly a few times, and that's what's pretty creepy. But there's no plot twist. There's no other mystery or anything to latch onto. The only thing that you're given is the mystery about Polly. I sort of predicted that just in my head. I'm not trying to predict, but I'm trying to understand what's going on in the movie, and it seemed like that's what was happening. Like, Iris is seeing Polly, and if I was Ruth and the person kept calling me in that context in a horror movie, it really seemed like that's what was happening. So with no other mystery, it just left it unfulfilling. Okay, that's all. So what's there is okay. It's a little creepy, but it felt like there should have been more to the plot twist and more for Ruth, the nurse, to do. You don't even see her do nurse stuff that much. She's not piecing together a mystery, really. You just see her wander around the house. Like at some part, a couple parts, she's fiddling with the TV. She fixes a rug. You just see her tend the house. And so, which I get it, that's what she's supposed to do, but there could have been more clues to a plot, and as you were piecing together those clues, it felt like you could have, revealed the scares harder in some ways. The main reason why I say this could have been done this way is Oz Perkins has shown that he really did this with Longlegs in another one of his movies. The other movie's called The Black Coat's Daughter. That's the next movie I'll make a review of. That one, The Black Coat's Daughter, did come before I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, but I did them out of order. So we're all going to have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. I have to deal with it. The cats have to deal with it. It is what it is. But I thought there should have been a little bit more to this movie. It's okay. I'm comfortable with my 5 out of 10. If anything, it may be lower. It may go to a 4 in the future because I don't really want to watch the movie again. I don't think there's anything to go back for a second viewing for. I don't think it's going to benefit from that. If anything, it's just going to feel like I've seen it all before again. So I'm comfortable with the 5 out of 10. It's okay. If it wasn't for the awesome framing and directing, it would be lower for me. So, but I'm excited to continue reviewing the Oz Perkins movies. I'm excited for watching The Black Coat's Daughter again. And Oz Perkins has another movie coming out next year, so I may have to redo my tier list. Who knows? Who cares? We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Unless we don't, right? Makes sense. So thank you for watching. If you made it this far, or if you left earlier, thank you for that. Thank you for watching. I hope you are having a good day. I will talk to you in the next video. Best of life to you. Remember to just take care of the people around you, and know that I appreciate you. You're appreciated by, I'm sure, someone. So anyway, enough of my crap. Thank you. See ya. Bye-bye.